Hello. In this video, we'll discuss how to respond to a demand aggregation event in One Indiana, K-12 Indiana, and Library Indiana. When a demand aggregation event is shared to you via One Indiana, Library Indiana, or K-12 Indiana, such as a demand aggregation event for road salt or copy paper, you will be notified via email. You can then log in at k12indiana.com, libraryindiana.com, or oneindiana.net to respond to the demand aggregation event. In this example, I'm going to walk through how to respond to a road salt demand aggregation event in One Indiana, but the same instructions will apply to K-12 Indiana users and Library Indiana users. Let's get started. Once I've logged in to One Indiana, Library Indiana, or K-12 Indiana, to respond to the demand aggregation event that's being held by the state, I can navigate to Bid Requests and click Respond. It's important to note that only certain users have access to respond to demand aggregation events in these programs. If you or someone at your organization needs the ability to respond and you do not have it, you can email info@oneindiana.net, info@k12indiana.com, or info@libraryindiana.com, and we'll set you up. Once I've navigated to Bid Requests and Respond, I'll be taken to the Bid Information Request page. You should see on this page a new open demand aggregation event. In this case, I'm going to be responding to Road Salt 2014-2015. You should see this event on your account. This event is typed as a commitment, meaning that the information I enter here is a commitment to purchase road salt after this demand aggregation event closes. The target close date to have my response submitted is April 11th. I'll click Respond to get started. When responding to a demand aggregation event, I'll first look over Step 1. Step 1 provides information about the demand aggregation event. I can look at key dates. I can look up contact information for people I can contact at the state for questions. And also, I have links to some more helpful information, such as the amount of road salt I demanded last year, or a map to look up my INDOT district. To get started responding to the road salt demand aggregation event, at the bottom of the Step 1 page, I'm going to enter general contact information and a phone number. This should be contact information for the person that can be contacted with questions about this demand aggregation response at your organization. I also have a general comments area where I can provide comments generally about my response to this demand aggregation event. Once I've completed Step 1, I'll click Next. On Step 2, I can review the items that are included in this demand aggregation event. In this case, the event is asking for my demand for both treated road salt and untreated road salt. I should review the item unit of measure and the description of the item to make sure I'm responding to the correct item. When I'm ready to respond, I'll click the pencil next to the line item that I want to provide my demand information about. Now I'm ready to respond with information about my demand for line 1, treated road salt. On this page, I have to enter first the last price paid for treated road salt and the last supplier used, if I had that information. These aren't required fields. I need to enter my billing address, city, state, and zip, and the county I'm located in. I also need to enter delivery contact information and purchasing contact information. Make sure this is accurate in case anyone needs to contact you with questions about your response to the demand aggregation event. I also need to select my INDOT district. If I don't know that, again, on Step 1 of the demand aggregation response, there's a link where I can look up this information. On step 2 of my response for this line item, I need to enter the quantity I will be interested in purchasing. Remember the unit of measure that you looked at on the first page. Here I'm entering my demand for treated road salt in tons. In the delivery method field, I can put information on my preferred delivery method. And I also need to select an address where I plan on having this order delivered. Again, this isn't an actual order. This is information about my demand for road salt, but we collect this information anyway just to get a sense of where you'll need things delivered. The address is listed in this drop-down or addresses on your K-12 Indiana, One Indiana, or Library Indiana account. If you don't see the address you would like to use there, you can contact us for help. Finally, I can enter any special notes about delivery or any special information I would like to provide about my request for this line item in this delivery notes area. Then I'll click Add Delivery Need to add my response to this line item to my demand aggregation response. Then I'll click Return to get back to the main page. Now I can see that I have responded that I'm interested in purchasing 200 tons of treated road salt. At any time, I can click Save for Later to save my work on the response before actually submitting it to the state. Once I'm done entering my response to the demand aggregation event, I'll click Next to go to the final step. This final step is a review and confirm page. I can do a final review of my response. Again, here I can see that I've entered information for treated road salt, and I've committed to purchasing 200 tons of treated road salt. Again, this won't be my final order for the road salt, but just my submission to the state for the amount that I'm interested in purchasing later. If my demand aggregation response looks good, then I'll click Submit Bid Response to submit this information. Once I've submitted my response, I'll be returned to the main bid information request page. In the area stating Submitted, I should see Road Salt 2014-2015 on my list of submitted responses. If the bid response is saved and not submitted, I need to make sure I submit that response before the date, in this case April 11th, to make sure the state gets all the right information. Now that my demand aggregation response has been submitted, I can come back at any time to view that submitted response using this magnifying glass. And again, review the information about the bid, such as the timeline, contact information, and other helpful information, and review my response. Remember, I submitted a response saying that I'm interested in purchasing 200 tons of treated road salt. If I click on treated road salt here, I should see that. Once the state gathers this information, they'll use all the compiled information from K-12 Indiana users, One Indiana users, and Library Indiana users to go out to the vendor community to bid and negotiate final pricing. At that time, I can reach out to the vendor directly to complete my road salt order. For more questions, you can contact Road Salt at idoa.in.gov, or for technical help with the website, you can contact info@k12indiana.com, info@libraryindiana.com, or info@oneindiana.net.